Oh, yeah. Can you dig it? Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight it's Friday the 13th, or a bad day if your name is 𝕉𝕠𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝. Otherwise, pretty good day. How are you doing? It's Untethered Live. Come on in. Take your shoes off, set a spell. It's going to be a great day today. Colin, you get the gold star today. Colin, how's it going, buddy? He says, hey, Jake, how was your day? Wet and busy. Going and coming in the rain. You know how it is. That's all right, though. I'm tough. I'm a man. I can handle it, baby. Patty's in the house. She says, hello. Hello, Patty. And hello, Rachel. She's in the house also. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you. Patty. Soph, nice to see you. We're always praying for you, Soph. That's a given here. And sorry for the bad news. I want street tacos, says Colin. That's not a bad idea, Colin. Sounds good. Although, we probably would taste better if they were made, on a stove. Or however you make a taco. Not in the street, though. Amanda says, hi, chat. Good to see y'all. Happy Friday. Hope everybody had a good week. Hi, Jake. How are you tonight? Froggy. And I'm feeling it. It's Friday the 13th. Very unlucky day. Let's see if we can turn that around. Shall we? Amanda says, hi, Colin. Hi, Patty. Hi, Rachel. Colin, here's your gold star, buddy. Is that your first gold star? And Rachel says, 𝕠𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝, I was just about to ask. Where is Amanda? Right there. Patty says, hi, Amanda. And Amanda says, hi, Soph. And Colin says, Jake, I learned to not worry about my past sins if I ask for forgiveness. Well, that's good. I've told you that, but that's okay. You learn it wherever you can get it, buddy. That's fine. Patty says, cheers. Colin says, nuh-uh. A taco truck. Taco. That's better. I like that. Taco truck. They have stoves in them, too. But much better than being on the street. Colin says, with ground beef, cilantro, and onions. Rachel says, cilantro should be illegal. I agree. I don't like cilantro. But I do like tacos. Amanda said, as soon as Jake went live, all my stuff crashed. Well, that's par for the course. Mine does that sometimes, too. Rachel says, there was no need to invent cilantro. I'm sure something likes it. I don't. It's if you were Mexican, you'd appreciate it. Of course you do. Amanda says, I like cilantro and tacos only. You just want cilantro and a taco shell? That would be weird. Why would you do that? That's not even a taco. I'm with Rachel. And Rachel said, yep, Amanda, lately my phone's been doing that too. And Colin says, Jake, and on that load of scrap, I made $65. Well, fantastic. I'm proud of you, Colin. You go, boy. Amanda says, LOL, don't taste good on nothing else. Well, if all you have is cilantro on your taco, I'd say you could probably taste it pretty good. I don't like it. What is it? I don't even know what it tastes like. Like freshly cut grass, maybe. I don't want it on my food. I know that. And Rachel says, I don't even use it on tacos. I don't use it at all. I try not to use things that don't, come from here. Happy Friday, everybody, says Fab Daddy. Happy Friday 13th, Fab Daddy. How are you? Rachel says, tastes like socks and laundry detergent pods. That sounds about right. Amanda says, it's good on true Mexican tacos. You see, that's just it. I don't like true Mexican tacos. I like true American tacos. Mexican tacos are dry and hard to eat. I think my fire just fell off. Yeah, I don't like real tacos. They're not good. They're dry. They're just, the meat's all weird. I want ground beef, lettuce, tomato, cheese, and sour cream, and hot sauce. That's it. And I want it to be crunchy, not soft. And Jake, do you got any scrap? I got loads of scrap, Colin. I use my scraps, though. Fab Daddy says, I just watched Pope and his opinion on our election. Well, aren't you smarter than you were yesterday? Why would he have an opinion on our election? He lives in a country that's the size of a mall, complete with an army. I don't think he needs to worry about our elections. And Rachel says, Amanda, smiley face. And Colin said, cause once I graduate, I'll come get it. Well, you're welcome to, Colin. I'll get you. Amanda says, LOL, I just had a Star Trek ad. Great. That means that there are some ads on YouTube worth watching. Rachel said, he just needs to worry about finding Jesus. Amen, sister. Yeah, the word pope means of the papacy. Papal meaning pious. He calls himself vicar, which means instead of, by the way. It's the same word, like the word that we use, like the prefix anti. That's what vicar is. It's the same word. So anti-Christ, or instead of Christ, that would be the pope. Tell you anything? I'm just saying. Amanda says, LOL, right, Rachel? Fab Daddy says, he said, choose your conscience, but they are both evil. Trump is not welcoming immigrants and comma for abortion. Fab Daddy, Trump loves immigrants. Immigrant meaning to migrate. We love immigrants. We want immigrants to come to America. This whole country is full of immigrants. The word is illegal immigrant. That's a different word. See the difference? The difference is documentation coming in through a port of entry. Legal immigrant, like Ellis Island or the Rio Grande or wherever it is there are nowadays. Legal immigrants. Fab Daddy trying to pull a fast one on the chat. Come on now. Amanda says, and he graduates in like 5 years or so. Colin does? Well, I may not have that scrap in 5 years, Colin, but I do have it now. Colin says, did it freeze for y'all too? What? You mean the chat? No. Amanda says, Trump welcomes immigrants. Legal immigrants. See? I told you. And Rachel says, from the Pope, right? Yeah, the Pope. The guy who, he's totally playing by the rules over there in the Vatican. Amanda says, and Kamala wants late-term abortions. Sick bitch. Well, that's an opinion, and I can't really espouse that because this is YouTube, and I want to keep my channel. But Rachel Floyd says, damn, Colin, how old are you, LOL? Graduate from college or high school? I think he means high school. Fab Daddy says, don't hate the messenger. I am just telling you what the Pope said. I don't hate the messenger. I don't hate the Pope. But I know who both of you are. Of course, I don't hate the messenger, Fab Daddy. I'm just, responding in kind. Look into my eyes as I hypnotize thee. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel. High school. And Rachel says, I'll sleep so much better knowing what the Pope said. Thanks, Fab Daddy. Right? Amanda says, that's why I said it. LOL. Yeah, I can't say things like that. That would be misinformation, and I can't do that. So, Fab Daddy says, LOL, and Amanda says, Rachel. And Rachel says, damn, he's like 14. I think he's like, I don't really know. At one time he told me, and I can't remember now. Amanda says, something like that, Rachel. Fab Daddy says, I ain't scared. Plus, you got to have a strong back to deal with people. Especially if they're swimming over the Rio Grande, you know what I'm saying? People are heavy, says Fab Daddy. Only if you're toting them. They're not so heavy if they walk on their own volition. Look at there, Jake's using big words again. Anyway, Rachel says, who said you should be scared? Scared of what? ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝. Immigrants? I don't know. I'm not scared either, Fab Daddy. That's why we have the Second Amendment. And we have the First Amendment so we can tell you about the Second Amendment and its effects if you try to scare us. I like it. Freely tell you about it. Understand, YouTube? Is this thing on? Fab Daddy says, I'm scared of big animals and super small ones. Why? I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of anything human or alive. Dakota says, hi. Hi, Dakota. How are you? Amanda says, hi, Dakota. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and we are... Rachel says, people are a bunch of PUSSIES. God, can you imagine these dumbasses when real issues were going on, like WW2? Yes, exactly. I was thinking about that this morning, about how every generation grew up with the intent on making their parents proud of them and trying to achieve something in the world, except for this generation. They're the only ones that are flipping the script and saying, I think I'm going to pierce my lips. Although we did go through some of that, but it was a very small group of us in comparison to the rest of us in our generation. It's interesting. I got you, Rachel. I'm with you. Dakota says, hi, Amanda, and I'm doing good. And Fab Daddy says, have you ever been chased by a bull? Fab Daddy, I've been chased by a bull. I've chased a bull. I've grabbed a bull by the horns, and I've jumped out of a tree onto one's back and rode it bareback. I'm not afraid of anything. Yes. Linda Davis, hi. And Rachel says, I hope you do, Daddy. Hope he does what? What I miss? You hope he does what? Hi, Linda. I'm sorry, I was in mid-thought and I read something else and it took me in another place. Hi. Amanda says, hi, Linda. Dakota says, hi, Linda. Fab Daddy says, the sickest I've ever been was because of bacteria, small animals. Well, that's not an animal. That's a bacteria, and there's a difference. Welcome to grade school chemistry. Bacteria is not alive. It is a function of the microscopic world, and it doesn't have life per se. It does require a host, which means that it is a parasite, not a living thing. But it will make you sick. It's not an animal. Rachel says, ℂ𝕚𝕝𝕝 gets chased down by a bull. Oh, I hope you do get chased down by a bull. I see what you say. You were changing the tense of the sentence that he used. Okay. All right, I got it. I just woke up. Give me a break. I'm struggling to hang on here. Fab Daddy says bacteria. Ha 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 ha. Yep, not an animal. Sorry. But I'm not afraid of that either. I took COVID like a man twice and dared it to kill me. And here I sit, maskless, vaxless, and ready for more. I'm actually starting to get the taste of it. I kind of like it. Come on. Squint, please. Bring it on. Dakota says, how is your evening going, Rachel? Nice. And Rachel says, ha 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 ha, Jake. For real. Facts. Ask anybody that knows me. I'm not scared of anything. Anything. I rode my motorcycle for a year with 0 brakes. None. Never stopped me, never slowed me down. No brakes. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle with no brakes? That's exhilarating. I now have brakes, but I'm not scared to do it. Rachel says, I don't know, some bullshit, Dakota, and you? And Fab Daddy says, I would argue with you more. I would argue with you more. Come on. I'll take it. Bring some Wheaties and some books, because you're going to need it. But I'll argue with you anytime you want. Peppa Pig, long time no see. Yo, I'm back. Hey, Peppa, how are you? Rachel says, I had COVID 3 times, and I had worse. I've had worse, too. Rachel says, and I got vaccinated twice, but I had to go to Sweden. I understand. Look, I don't begrudge anybody that did that. I didn't feel right about it when they first started pushing it. And I'm the kind of guy that when you tell me I have to do something, that's the last thing that I'm going to do. Just because you said I had to. For no other reason other than pure stubbornness. I'm that guy. So I don't begrudge anybody that did do it, though. I understand the reason behind it. A lot of people just wanted to get on with their lives and keep working and, and they were imposing some pretty harsh rules if you didn't do it. So I understand. I came that close to doing it myself because I was involved in a child custody case at the time, and I couldn't go to court unless I was, otherwise marked. But I held my ground, but just barely. The things you do for love, I understand. Absolutely right. Dakota says, it is going. I just got off work, Rachel. Oh, how's it going? It's going, yes. Hey, Peppa, how are you? How's your life been? Peppa says, I'm doing good. Amanda says, hi, Peppa. Fab Daddy says, but a bull wrangling hardhead is not worth my time. What? You think I'm not worth your time, Fab Daddy? Have you ever known that to be true even once since you've known me? That I'm not worthy of your time? You think you could actually hold your own with me? If so, I challenge you to a duel. A duel of wits. I'll tie half my brain behind my back and close one eye, and you can take your best shot. I'm ready. Rachel says, nice, Dakota. Go home and get drunk. When all else fails, Dakota, get hammered. Makes you feel better. And Dakota says, I'm doing that now, Rachel. Amanda says, like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats available in the chat box, y'all. And also, hit that Cash App, $ Jake Johnson Band. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this hot cup of coffee, by the way. If you'd like to have a cup of coffee with me and talk about your week, go to the kitchen and pour yourself a nice hot cupper and let's get this party rolling like it ought to be. If you don't have a cup, you can get one in the description below. I recommend the first one. It's beautiful. It has my face on it. And also, hit that like button. It's free. There's 14 people in chat. There's only 4 likes. That means 10 of you don't think I'm worthy of a like button press. Come on now. Peppa says, holla, Amanda. And Dakota says, would you like to know what I do for work, Rachel? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say firefighter, EMS driver, worker, something with needles. Yeah, say firefighter. Amanda says, getting popcorn just to watch. Well, a few of you have had the privilege of watching me dissect people before. It's not pretty, but whatever. I'm game. We ought to film it and make a show out of it. Rachel says, Fab Daddy, why are you so offended? Because we weren't excited about your news from the Pope? I think he's just being contrarian. I don't think he's offended. He might be, though. He did say I wasn't worth his time. That's new. Rachel says, you seem a little upset that we didn't agree with the Pope. Rachel says, sure, Dakota. I would love nothing more than to know what you do. Enlighten me. Dakota says, I got you, my friend. I'm a fireman and an EMT, Rachel. Man, I'm good. Fab Daddy says, I'm sorry, I added the sound effect. I'm just assuming that you got your hands on your hips right now. You have every right to feel how you want to feel. I am not offended, but I can understand that my words might lead you into thinking that way. Well, yeah, that's how we judge. We communicate by using words, and we ascertain how the other party is feeling by what they say and how they say it. So, yeah, that would do the trick there, Fab Daddy. But I happen to know you, and I know you're not offended, so you're good. Peppa says, I went up to Scotland just last week, and wow, it is different to England. Yeah, it's Scotland. The only place in Scotland that might be English-like would be Scotland Yard. Or maybe Robert the Bruce's house, but whatever. I've seen Braveheart twice. I know a little. Rachel says, Dakota, okay, that's cool. Colin says, I'm back from loading the truck. I didn't know you left. Fab Daddy says, I am offended that Jake even knows me. Well, that's horrible, Fab Daddy. I'm proud that you know me. Why would that offend you? Rachel says, Lamau, Jake. Anyway, Fab Daddy, I love you, brother. I'm sorry you're offended. You want me to get you a box of tampons and a sweetie pie? Fat Daddy says, I love you too. Thank you. Peppa says, yeehaw. And Amanda says, man ponds. That doesn't even sound right. Ugh. LOL, Rachel. Rachel says, I'm offended that Daddy is here. Nah, Daddy's welcome anywhere I am. He just likes to be contrarian. And that's good because it gives me something to sharpen my teeth on. It's actually a good thing for the channel. Because otherwise I'd be miserable and tired. Like I am. But it's nice to have somebody to fight against. Or at least rub up against vigorously. You know what I mean? Peppa says, let's roll. I'm ready. Fab Daddy says, my panties are twisted. I apologize. It's okay. Rachel says, I like being sarcastic too. Don't we all want that, Jake? Yes. To be rubbed up against vigorously? Yes. Yes, we do. It's a good cup of coffee. Yes, that does sound nice. Rachel says, absolutely. I'll tell you what, though. The Pope does have a cool car. I'll give him that. Amanda says, hell yes. A couple Mai Tais and a party. Amanda says, coffee. Change the subject. Never. Never change the subject. I shy away from nothing. What brand of car is it? I have no idea, but it's got a little place for him to stand up and bulletproof glass all around it. It's like the Batmobile, but only for the Pope. Embrace the subject, says Rachel. Exactly. Rachel says, go deep in that subject, in fact. I think we're talking about different things, but I'm with you. Linda says, preferably by someone good. Amen. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel, too many people in here still wet behind the ears. True. Probably a Cybertruck. I think it's a Cadillac of some kind or something. It's been modified, so the roof has been taken off of it, and they got this glass box or plastic box that sits up on top of it, and it's one of those little pointy cars. It's white, obviously, and he stands up in it, and he's got like handrails around him where he can hold on, and they drive down through the parades and stuff. It's pretty cool. Amanda says, hi, Linda. Turkey smiley face. And Rachel says, laughing out loud, Amanda. Peppa says, cool. Rachel says, oh, yeah. Colin is 13, too, or whatever. I guess I can't talk about that. You can talk about it. You just have to use innuendo and referendums. I'm pretty quick. Linda says, my dogs are the only ones taking the other side of the bed, of my bed. That's a shame, Linda. That is a shame. Rachel says, I did, LOL. Yep, and I caught it. Amanda says, oh, Linda, I feel you. My cuddler is a pillow. Well, we all have hands. I suggest we put them together and pray that we resolve that situation soon. And Rachel says, I mean, Linda, a stuffed platypus is taking up the other side of my bed. Does it have a beak? Peppa says, yep, in England, usually we have cars that ram other cars if they have beef with people. That's crazy. Really? I mean, I know you guys don't have guns over there, so you're not armed and the police aren't armed, so it's like, stop, or I'll say stop again. Rachel says, I did pray in a few hours ago. Amanda says, good, Rachel. Fab Daddy says, both dogs and pillows are better than bed bugs. True. Very true. John, good morning, Jake and everybody. Hey, John, how are you, buddy? The platypus's name is Weber, and it does have a beak. Weber. Interesting. The old platypus. Fab Daddy says, bed bugs are the worst. Yes, they are, and they're hard to get rid of, too. Amanda says, hi, John. Dakota says, hi, John. Peppa Pig says, yep, we have Range Rovers with 23-inch steel bars on the front. Yeah, we got a thing like Range Rovers here, too. They're called Fords. And we like to jack them up and put big things all around them. And I understand how that goes. Little vampire blood-sucking bugs. That's true. They're just like vampires. They even live in a blood-soaked cave. True. And they have little imps that shed their skin and turn into something else. It's gross. They're gross animals. They might be aliens. Amanda says, Chevy, Dodge. Your turn. I've only owned one vehicle I didn't have to work on, and it was a Dodge. Toyota. Well, it's true you can't kill a Toyota, but if I were going to do anything that way, it would be a Datsun B210, period. Hands down, best car ever built. True. Facts. I once bought a Datsun B210 that I saw on the back of somebody's house with a tarp over it and a concrete block sitting on top to hold the tarp down. And it was sitting on blocks. And I pulled over and introduced myself to the people at the house there. And come to find out, this car had belonged to a group of teenagers who bought it when they were teenagers and used it to jump off cliffs and ride through the woods and stuff. It never was a legal vehicle, so they just destroyed it, basically. Run the guts out of it, and then when it was all nothing but stubs, they put it on blocks and left it behind the house. So I gave them $80, and they gave me the title. So I took the next $100 that I had in my pocket, and back then $100 would do this. I don't recommend you try it now, but then I went down and I bought 4 tires, used tires, and a few quarts of oil. I came back. I jumped the car off. I filled it up with oil. I put the tires on it. I jumped the car off, and I drove that car in its condition for the next 5 years without doing a thing to it. I did put an ignition on it because you had to push it off, but other than that, I didn't do anything to. I beat the door out. The door was caved in, so I had to beat it back out straight where it was shut. I had to use a bungee cord to hold it shut, but it would shut. 5 years I drove that car without doing a thing to it after it had belonged to a group of teenagers when they were teenagers, and they were grown when I bought the car. So Datsun B210, I swear by them. Rachel says Honda, Ford, Acura. Yeah. Fab Daddy says steam the whole house. You have bed bugs currently, Fab Daddy? Don't come anywhere near me. Them things are hard to get rid of. Linda says, I don't want to be the one to say Ford. Well, you're not. I said Ford. Amanda says, Toyota is the new Datsun. No. No, a Toyota is not a Datsun. They're not the same thing. They're close to the same thing. They're not the same. Fab Daddy says, I think I got them from a stay at the hotel. Yeah, when my mom was dying, there was a nurse that would come in from hospice and check on her once a day, and she brought a bed bug into our house on her purse. My mom even saw it when it jumped off the purse, but I couldn't find it. She said she saw a bug, but I never found it. And then a couple of days later, they were everywhere. I don't remember how long, a week or two. And I had to leave the house for 2 years and let them die. It was the only way I could get rid of them. I tried everything, couldn't get rid of them. They're gone now, but it took a long time to get rid of. And I had to come in here and be like a hunter and hunt them down and kill them all. The ones that were left over. Toyota is the new Datsun. I read that one. No, it's not. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel, Acura only makes cars. True. I thought we were just naming vehicle manufacturers, right? Amanda says, oh, LOL, I don't know. By the way, if you guys hadn't tried our new Facebook page yet, the Untethered Live Facebook page, link is in the chat. Go by and check it out. Sign up, it's free. Keep in contact with everybody here in the chat that's over there, and keep up with all things Untethered Live Universe right there on the Facebook page. Go check it out. Peppa Pig says, yep. Another thing about England, our knife crime is through the roof at the minute. Usually, it is 3 people with a 20-inch machete. Well, 2 things, Peppa. Number 1, stop letting Muslims into your neighborhood. And number 2, lift the ban on guns, and you won't have so many knife crimes. Because, see, the thing about people is they're going to kill each other. It doesn't matter what you ban. They'll find another way. If they got to hit you in the head with a stick, they'll find a way. Trust me. Banning guns is silly. You know where the safest place in the world is? Texas. You know why? Because everybody has a gun. And if everybody's armed, nobody's going to be stupid. Amanda says, luckily, I've never had to experience bed bugs. Well, you just wait. Your life ain't over yet. John says, a lot better. John says, a lot better. I'm selling up getting out of England, going to Japan for a new life. New life or new wife? Both would be exciting. Peppa says, nice, John. And by the way, Japan has some pretty nice things. I would recommend go to Tokyo, but or Taiwan. That's in China, though. Fab Daddy says, have a great night. I gotta run. Well, walk. You'll conserve more energy. But nice to see you, Fab Daddy. Amanda says, good night, Fab. Rachel says, bye, Daddy. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel. Any state with open carry, says Amanda. That's what's safe places. True. John says, life, not wife. Well, you know, they have flied lice over there, so it could have been. I would recommend a Japanese wife. Get a young one. They're fun. Anyway. Have fun over there. Stay away from the vending machines. They do weird things. And once you get to Japan, let me know. I'll have you buy me a couple of guitars from over there. Which I can't currently get from here, but you could get from there and then ship them to me. See how that works? I'll make it worth your while. There is a couple that I'd very much like to have that are Japanese made. Peppa says, yep, we need to do stuff about it. But this royal family isn't doing anything about it, which is annoying. Well, they've relegated themselves to being mascots, so they don't have any power anymore, admittedly. Now they're just, a place to send your tax dollars. Somebody to talk about, like royalty, like famous people are here. But they did that to themselves. They used to be in control of the whole country, and then some. Then they said, "Oh, we took that land. We'll give it back. We're sorry, but we did invent this thing called a bank. Is that money that you have there? Well, I tell you what, we'll give you the land back, but we'll keep your money." No, it's still your money, but we'll just keep it in our bank. Mm-hmm. Yep. England, interesting place. There are 3 seats of power in the world, by the way. There is the bank, the church, and the oligarchy, which is the conglomeration of world leaders. And those things control everything. Guess where the bank's at? Church is in the Vatican, obviously. The oligarchy is seated here, and the bank is seated there. It's a good triangle of influence they got going on, I'm guessing. John says it's cheaper over there. Keep in touch. I'll keep in touch, definitely. Good sake. Yes, please do. And yeah, they do have some great prices over there. Anyway, Peppa, stay out of the neighborhoods with all the you-know-whats, and you'll be okay. Stay off the high street. Peppa says, yep, it's pretty sad to see a former good country fall. We're going through much the same thing here, Peppa. Not being the place we were 50 years ago. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, our world seems to want to go through this growing pain, self-imposed growing pain. And so they've upended everything, turned everything upside down. And now all the wokies are running everything, and they've run it into the ground. And pretty soon it'll flip back, and more sane people will take over, because the pendulum always swings both ways. But until it does, it's going to be rough. and you just have to be wiser than the serpent. And by that I mean stay out of trouble, keep your head up, have some situational awareness of what's going on around you, and stay out of trouble. And if you can do that, you'll make it just fine. But don't be naive. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's a duck. As long as you trust that. And I recommend that you look into a bunch of old axioms and figures of speech and colloquialisms, old wives' tales, things like that, because they have value. They're an expression for a reason, like 2 in the hand is worth 1 in the bush. That's an expression. And it's true. We're talking about birds here, the female kind or the fowl kind. And 2 in the hand is definitely worth more than 1 in the bush. Or 1 with a bush. However you look at it, it's better. You know how it be. It's hard out here for a pimp. Anyway, take your time, watch the world, conclude accurately, and stay out of trouble. A little discrimination goes a long way. You know, if you see a piece of moldy bread, don't pick it up and put it in your mouth. Very simple. If you see somebody walking at you and you get that little tingle in your spine, cross the street. There's no shame in that, and likely save yourself a lot of trouble. John says there's only one party can do. Their only one party can do is reform. Nigel Farage. I think I understand what you're saying. Nigel Farage was partly responsible for the Brexit movement. And I know very little about that, but what I understand is that the world at large is pretty much divided into 2 categories: the woke and the people that just wanted to keep things the way they were. Hence the Brexit movement. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I can tell you that it's scary however you look at it. Dana, how are you, sweet Dana? Good to see you. Greetings. Amanda says, hi, Dana. Hun. Shadowy heart. Vibrating heart. Heart with an echo. I like that one. Peppa says, we're all trying to be careful in England, but I understand. Dana says, hi, Amanda Hart. Da-da-da-da-da. Gotta stay clear of England. And that's sad, too, because I really wanted to visit England. I love your guys' country, but I don't want to go there right now. Doesn't seem like the place it was in the 70s. Anybody with that would outlaw kitchen knives. I don't want to go to their country right now. Dana says, Jake, this heart with an echo is a growing heart. Oh, okay. Looks like it's echoing. Jake Cofield was from England. I don't know who that is. Oh, yeah, I do. Yep. Well, that's weird that he was from England. He had such an American accent. Either way. Dana says, greetings, John. Hi, John. Dana, how's your evening going? Have you had a good week? I have. It rained today, so I got to drive to and from work in the rain. Very nice. Peppa says, just don't go to the Midlands or the lower areas of England. Go to the higher bits of England. Gotcha. So stay in the posh areas is what you're saying. Amanda says, it's Dana's Saturday, LOL. Yep, I guess you're right. And Peppa says, yes, stay in the posh areas. There's a bunch of little villages there I'd love to go visit. You know, it's 3:15 here in the AM, says Dana. So it is Saturday. You are the future. Da-da-da-da-da. Amanda says, Dana is our future. Too bad she can't tell us what's going to happen next. Well, if you get a head start on those lottery numbers, I'll take some of that. And by the way, she can tell you what's going to happen next. The sun will come up. She knows. It already has. John says, hiya, Dana. I hope you're okay. Nice. And Dana says, yes, I am your future. I'm with you, Dana. I like being in the past. England, Scotland, Egypt, Jerusalem are all places I would love to go. And I don't want to go to any of those places right now. It's scary out there. And I just know that if I tried to visit any of those places, it would end up being more trouble than it's worth. Of course, I'd also like to go to Patagonia. Patagonia means land of the Bigfoot people, by the way. Just so you know. That's in the southernmost tip of South America. Bigfoot people. Interesting. Get an RV and just travel, says Amanda. Can't do that, Amanda. There's an ocean between us and them. That would be wet. I've already been all over America. There's nothing here I want to see. I mean, there's places I haven't been, but I know what's there. I know that. I mean, in the U.S. Yeah, there's nothing in the U.S. I'm interested in seeing. Except maybe the world's largest ball of yarn. That I might want to see. John says, I've been to Egypt, and I went to see the tombs. You mean the pyramids? Because the tombs are not in the pyramids. Just asking for a friend. And Peppa says, never go to Bradford. That's in England. Crime in that city is shocking. I don't doubt it. They've let a lot of riffraff in that area. Dana says, I've been in Jerusalem 3 times, and I'm glad I don't have to go there anymore. Right? Well, I would love to go there and be left alone, obviously. I'd like to just visit the old places. But I just don't know. I just don't know if it's a good idea to go over there in the current position of the world. And Dana says, I loved Egypt, John. I would love Egypt. That's definitely right down my alley. Linda says, Jake can sail away with Walter, and Amanda and I can go with you in the RV. Now that's an idea. Amanda says, I want to see the Ark and the Enterprise. And by that she means the Answers in Genesis exhibit of the Ark, Noah's Ark in Kentucky, and the warehouse that contains the original set of the refurbished set of the original series Star Trek in Georgia. Both of those places sound like great places to go visit. Amanda says, it sounds fun, Linda. And John says, hot, but a bit dangerous at the moment. Yes, I bet. Both of those things. I would like to go stand at the mouth of the storehouses and look down into the holes. I would like to go to the pyramids. I would like to go to the pyramids that are off the beaten path that nobody ever takes pictures of. I would like to go to all the temples. I'd like to go to Karnak. I'd like to go to Memphis. I'd like to go to Amarna. I'd like to go to all over the place, you know. Giza. There's a lot of things in Egypt I'd like to see with my own eyes. I've seen it through, you know, the internet and pictures. I want to see the scope of it. I want to smell it. Luxor, yep, is also beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of temples in Luxor too. Amanda says, and the Smithsonian and the General Lee Graveyard. Just a few. Well, I know the guy who owns one of those and drove the original one. And as far as the Smithsonian goes, you would probably enjoy that very much. I did not. And I'll tell you why I did not. Because when I went to the Smithsonian, I walked in the door there, and the first thing I saw was Lucy. You know who Lucy is? This was a statue of Lucy, not like the exhibit that you see on TV, like in Ancient Aliens and all that. They always show pictures of Lucy. No, this was I don't know if it's clay or some kind of carbon or something. I don't know what it is made out of. It's light. Anyway, a statue of Lucy with children standing by a campfire, holding a staff, looking out across the distant plains as if to wonder, I wonder what's over the horizon. And my first thought was, how do you know that thing could build a fire or have babies? Or use a stick? I mean, you didn't even find hands or feet. And half the skeleton is missing. How do you know all of that? That's a lot of detail. And they had eyes like people and feet like people also. How do you know that? Isn't that a little disingenuous to have a statue like that in a museum of antiquities? Because you're lying to me right now, because I know that you don't know these things, and yet there's a statue of it for all the kids to come in and see and go, oh, look, Lucy, they must have it figured out. They do not. So I didn't enjoy the rest of it because of that exhibit. Amanda says, oh, sorry. Peppa says, okay, so I'm going to go now because it's getting late, and I'll try to join the next stream. Well, Peppa Pig, thank you for coming back. Come see us. And Amanda says, good night, Peppa. And Peppa says, good night, Amanda. John says, when I was much younger, I backpacked all of Europe. Now, I've never understood that sentiment whatsoever. I would not want to do that even if I was 20. I like motels. So. But that's pretty awesome that you were able to experience that, John. And John says, good night, Peppa. Have a good one. I know there's a lot of great places in Europe that don't get a lot of talk that I'd like to see. You know, the little rural areas and such. One of my passions is understanding how the world came to be what it is. And so I like to physically be able to go and visit some of these places so that I can see with my own eyes how things evolved. I'm using the word evolve here. Obviously, I don't mean that in that way, but there's a lot of mystery in the world. And I don't think that science has it right. And so I'd like to go see for myself. I remember when I was a kid, they used to have, in school, they would have these pictures of the map, and these lines are drawn all over the place, how people migrated over the years, and I'm like, how could you know that? What evidence do you have to suggest that? Turns out, they don't. They just guess. I love history, says John. Me too. I don't love the history that we're being taught, though. I like real history. And Dana says, Jake, the backpackers sleep in motels, even expensive hotels. They do not sleep on the ground or on the streets. Well, that makes it better. That does make it better. I'm guilty of having seen the movie Hostel, so, you know, I'm not into that idea at all. I like to keep both of my kidneys. Amanda says, and I've only been west to Roswell, New Mexico. So I think I'd like to see some of the things out west, i.e. Colorado, Arizona, not so much California. Actually, California's beautiful. It's just filled with crazy people. John says, I had a tent. See, he did sleep on the streets. Now, if I was going to backpack, I would definitely want to sleep in a motel and get a shower, have cable, the internet, that sort of thing. And Dana's smiling, laughing, and thumbing up, which is what you'd be doing if you were backpacking. Can I get a ride? I just, I don't cherish the idea of walking everywhere. Like, if I could drive my car and backpack, that'd be one thing. If I got to walk everywhere, not so much. Although I would probably walk all over Egypt if it was a safe place to be. John says, can't beat a campfire, cook on it. I have done this, John. That's how I started my life. And yes, you can. It's called a range with an oven. Much better than a campfire. And a coffee pot with a timer. And a microwave. And a crock pot. I could go on an air fryer. Toaster oven. Much better than a fire pit. But I started life like the 1800s. I lived on way back in the woods, and we walked everywhere and carried water and had a garden and hunted for food and that sort of thing. So, and we cooked on a wood stove. So I remember all that. I don't necessarily romanticize it, though. This is going back 30 years, says John. I hear you. Amanda says, and toilets and running water. Also nice. Nice to have. Hot water. Nice to have. When I was a kid, we'd take a bath in a wash tub outside once a week, whether we needed it or not. And the water was usually cold. So, not many people even know what a wash tub is these days. But I still have 3 of them hanging on my barn, 4 of them hanging on my barn. I use them for various things, but I don't take a bath in them anymore. Although I could. Skinny dipping. Yep, did that too. That's only fun if you have a partner, though. And I'm not above skinny dipping. Amanda says, LOL, I took cold showers only because the water heater broke. Yep, well, we didn't have a water heater when I was a kid. Or water, for that matter. I guess I'm pretty sissified. I like comfort with a nice bathroom, says Dana. Me too. But it ain't because I didn't start out the other way. It's, skinny dipping sounds fun. It is fun. As long as you're skinny dipping in a place that doesn't have parasites, because that would be gross. Amanda says, I'm with you, Dana. Me too. I don't want to have to go through any more hardships than I have been in my life, but I have done it. So I do know what I'm talking about. Just so you know. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that's how I started my life. So I remember walking to the neighbor's, which was about 4 miles away, to get water in jugs and tote it back to the house. Me and my sister and my mom. Many, many, many days of toting jugs. Rachel says, skinny dipping is not fun. You just hadn't been skinny dipping with the right people, Dana. Rachel, sorry. Dana says, smiley face, Amanda. Amanda says, I'm a AC spoiled. Me too. John says, I was used to it. My family were gypsies travelers. We were kind of like gypsies here, but here we called rednecks. But pretty much the same thing. Travel all over the place, never stay in one spot too long, have our own set of rules. Pretty much the same thing. You could say I'm a gypsy. Amanda says, It is if you have someone to do it with, Rachel. It is fun. You know how many bugs and creatures could go up in there? Well, yeah. That's why I just said you want to skinny dip in a relatively clean place. Amanda says they could do that with clothes on too, Rachel. True. Skinny dipping in a pool is different. Yeah, I guess you could do it in a pool. That'd be clean. I mean, skinny dipping in the shower with someone. Yeah, absolutely. Is that the same thing? Well, there is water and nudity, so yeah. Linda says, Walter and I lived where we heated with only wood, and I told him I wanted the button on the wall to turn the heat on, so he put a sticky note with a button drawn on it on the wall. I didn't think it was funny. Damn. I've done the heating thing with wood, too, before. I've chopped wood. Amanda says, LOL, no, Rachel, that's taking a shower together. Rachel says, okay, then skinny dipping is amazing. I love skinny dipping. Lamau, Amanda. John says, don't sit on the grass, itchy butt. True. Yep. And don't, no matter how romantic you think it is, don't ever make love on the beach. It's not romantic. What if it's a bathtub, says Rachel. Dana says, John, I admire your skills because today we live in very uncertain times. You will survive. I will have a very hard time. No, you won't. I'll take care of you. Amy Elizabeth, hello. How are you? Amanda says, you'll get sand in places sand don't belong. Very true. Yeah, you get sand and crabs and all up in there. Yep. We get all kind of crazy things up in there. Yeah, very true. Amanda says, hi, Amy. Rachel says, LOL, Lamau, Amanda. And Dana says, Amy, heart, sandpaper, yes. And Linda says, we used to go skinny dipping while pool hopping through the neighborhood. That would be exhilarating and a little weird. Aaron, what's up, buddy? He says, hugs and handshakes, family. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Amanda says, hi, Aaron. Rachel says, I almost had a beetle go up in there, and it scarred me for life. A new fear unlocked. That's terrifying. Guard that thing. Amy says, I think I broke my foot. I fell walking the doggo today. That's horrible, Amy. Stay off of it. Maybe you just twisted it. Hope you didn't break it. That's bad. Amanda says, oh, geez, Rachel. And Aaron says, hey, Amanda. Amanda says, oh, no, Amy. Aaron says, hello, Mr. Jake. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. How are you? Hope you're having a good week so far. It's Friday. Friday the 13th. Let's not dwell on that, but here we are. I guess it's okay unless your name is 𝕉𝕚𝕝𝕝𝕝𝕝. Rachel says, I thought it was my nerve damage kicking in because I felt something crawling. I quickly took off my pants, and a giant-ass beetle was inches from entry. Kind of make you wonder. That's gross. I don't think I've ever had that problem. Amanda says, I've had ants in my pants from a mud hole. The only thing that's ever been in my pants is me. Aaron says, I got promoted to engineer level 3 because I attacked life with both fists, like you said, Jake. You go, boy. I'm proud of you. I hope you did. Rachel says, haha, Amanda, I hope it wasn't fire ants. Amanda says, way to go, Aaron. Linda says, that's sad, Jake. And John says, congratulations. No, it's not sad. I'm usually out of them when that occurs. But whatever. I was referring to lower life forms, but I'll take it. Rachel says, well, hopefully he has had humans and not bugs in them. Right. Aaron says, thank you. The family support helped. Well, I'm glad of that, Aaron. And you always have a family here, and I hope that you make lots of money and build lots of cool stuff. And congratulations on the promotion. Amanda says, LOL, Rachel, I was stripping my pants quickly. I had to run between the trucks and open the doors. People were everywhere. It was so funny. Sounds like one of those dreams you have when you're a teenager. And you know, when you're in the front of the class and suddenly you realize you don't have any clothes on. Rachel says, haha, I bet. That would have been funny to see. Aaron says, I do God's work at the hotel designed for kids. At a hotel designed for kids. That's fantastic. Why would there be a hotel designed for kids? And Dana says, congratulations, Aaron. Amanda says, it's hard to hide between a bunch of lifted mud trucks, too. Well, bugs in your pants, says Rachel, and almost making entry into you is not funny. That's one of my greatest fears now. Well, that's a good thing that that's your greatest fear, because there are some really bad things out there to be afraid of. And if that's all you're scared of, you're doing good. Just learn how to duct tape your pants legs to your boots, and you won't have that problem anymore. John says, Jake, you know what a bow wagon is? I grew up in one. I do know what a bow wagon is. Aaron says, water park and Magic Quest make money like a theme park, Mr. Jake. Oh, okay. So you're like designing roller coasters and stuff. Cool. Can you imagine had that beetle entered? Yes, I could imagine that. I've seen a French movie or two. Amanda says, I wouldn't want to imagine that, Rachel. I hope it wasn't a punching beetle. Or a dung beetle. That would be even worse. Pinching beetle. And Rachel's crying, laughing over there. Was it something I said? Probably would have died quick. Probably. Unless it was a male beetle. Then he would be in heaven. But whatever. I digress. What is this strange world I find myself in? Ew. Fear not, beetles don't take homes in tiny holes. It's okay. He was probably just lost. Took a wrong turn at Albuquerque, and next thing you know, you're pulling your britches off. It's me, what's up? I'm not sure what you're talking about. You don't want to be. Amanda says, it might have been fun, Rachel. It could have gotten to spots no one could, 𝕂𝕠𝕝𝕝. Okay, let's dial it back a little bit. Rachel says, that is not the kind of mail I want in there. I hear you. Amanda says, hi, it's me. And John says, I hope it wasn't a scarab beetle. Ugh. That would make you a mummy. Ha ha ha, Amanda says Rachel. Linda says, ugh. I'm going to be up late. I have to get my daughter from school, and when they get back from the football game, she just said they are leaving now, and they're about 2 hours away. Oh, horrible. You are going to be up for a while. Well, just as soon as we reach 10 o'clock, I'm going to go to bed. So I'll get some snoozing for you. I'm a little sick today, in case you can't tell. I started getting sick yesterday, and then I rode to work and back in the rain today, and that didn't help. So I am going to put the covers up to here with nothing but my mustache sticking out, and I'm going to pass out. It's me says, hi, Amanda. And Amanda says, dang, Linda. Amy says, unless it's a kissing bug, it digs a hole in your face and lays eggs in your flesh. Ugh. Now that's something to be afraid of. I've actually seen pictures of that. John says, hope you get well soon. I'm sure it's just a little bug. I'm sure I'll be fine in a couple days. But thank you, John. Aaron says, I hope you feel better, Jake. Thank you, Aaron. I had the 3-day COVID. It sucked. I don't think it's COVID. I think I just wore out, I don't think it's that. I did have a fever this morning when I woke up, but it broke as soon as I woke up. So, Colin says, Jake, do you know anyone with dentures? Yes. Amanda says, I'm glad you're better, Aaron. Aaron says, bot flies are bad. Yes, they are. Colin says, hey, Aaron, almost got in a fight with a girl. But did you kick her tail? Don't get in a fight with a girl, Colin. If you're about to get in a fight with a girl, it usually means she likes you. So consider that before you punch her lights out. I know to breathe. Yes, breathe. And also, pass her your phone number. John said, I had COVID a couple of weeks ago. It will pass. Yes, it will. And Colin says, but she talked how my mom's teeth are rotting. So? What's wrong with that? Is it true? Yes, Rachel, Colin is trolling. But Colin's a good boy most of the time, so I let it slide. Amanda says, it's just words, Colin. And Colin says, I'm not trolling. And Aaron says, give her flowers, Colin. Yeah, girls don't generally just pick on guys unless there's a reason. You know what I'm saying? Colin says, yes, it is. It is true. Okay, well, if it's true, then she hadn't said anything wrong now, has she? No reason for you to get upset about the truth. Rachel says, I was about to say the same thing. Maybe she is stating facts. And Amy says, Colin is okay for now. He knows his limit. Yep. And Colin says, I hate to say it. Well, I understand that. I understand how a person would be defensive over their mother, and I understand why you would hate to admit that to be true. But if it's the truth, the girl didn't say anything wrong. She just may have had a little less tact in how she said it. People are like that. Just let it slide. That's not a reason to fight somebody. Rachel says, so why are you mad, LMAO? If it is in fact true. Aaron says, feed her. Tell her she's pretty and you will be good. I agree. Well, she did not need to say that and she had an attitude. Well, that happens. Especially in today's time, Colin. You be the bigger man and walk away because you know that she only has words and words can't hurt you. You ever heard the old saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but your words never hurt me? Think about that. Words mean nothing. Actions mean everything. And Amanda says, most women have an attitude, Colin. Get used to it. Or learn how to control it, which will take you about 20 years. Colin says, okay, Amanda. And Rachel says, Colin, ain't no 14-year-old girl talking like that about your mom. Be the bigger man, says John. Well, schoolgirls can be mean. I hear it's a trend that girls can be mean. That being said, they're just words. And in this case, they're true words. So regardless if she had an attitude or not, she didn't say anything wrong, so let her speak. Better yet, turn it around. Ask her how her mother's doing. And I tell you what, here's what you say the next time she says something about your mom. Let her say whatever, your mom has rotten teeth. And then you look her right in the eye and smile and say, if you're waiting for my comeback, you need to scrape it off of your mom's teeth. And then walk away. Now, you may not understand that joke, but I promise it'll hit home in ways you can't possibly understand right now. Colin says, I was just about to say that. Aaron says, he got to get better at being roasted and laughing it off. True. And Rachel says, unless it was that obvious, no 14-year-old girl would say that. LOL. And Dana says, words can hurt much more than sticks and stones. Only if you let them, Dana. A wise person knows the value of a word. And if you just place that value where it belongs, words don't hurt you. They're just words. I understand what you're saying, and yes, they can, but only if you allow them to. In other words, the onus is on you if you allow words to hurt you. And Amy says, nobody can hurt your feelings without your permission. True. And Linda says, yes, Amy, they do at any age. Linda says, I mean Dana. Yes. Yes, Dana, they do at any age. And Rachel says, also, if your mother's teeth are that bad and falling out, she should get a checkout for other health issues. Yeah, that's true. And also, dentures are great. So, go do that. Words are powerful. Yes, they are. But they can only hurt you if you allow them to hurt you. But if you put up your defense against those words and allow them to roll off of your back, in other words, don't put any stock in what other people say about you, they're not going to hurt you. Aaron says, besides being sick, how you been, Jake? I'm fine. I'm living life and doing stuff. I got 2 guitars intonated last night while watching Star Trek, so I was productive even though I felt bad. And I worked today, so I was productive even though I felt bad. And now I'm working tonight, so maybe I'll be productive even though I feel bad. But it's been a good day so far, Aaron. Thanks for asking. Amanda says, I agree sometimes, Dana. And Rachel says, yeah, but if her teeth are just falling out, there could be an underlying issue. I agree with that. I don't think that may be the case, though. I think the girl was being mean about his mom, and it probably hurt his feelings. And I'm trying to instruct him in the ways of stoicism and to not let those feelings be shown. Even if it does hurt your feelings, don't ever give them the satisfaction of knowing that it hurt your feelings. Turn it around on them. If you're waiting for my comeback, you need to scrape it off your mama's teeth. That's the comeback for that. That'll fix that problem. She will not realize what you just said to her until about 4 o'clock that morning. She'll wake up in a cold sweat and realize that with that mental image in her head of what just happened, and she will never talk to you again. I promise. John says, I got hard skin, words don't hurt me. Right on. Aaron says, what does intonated mean? Oh, okay. Intonated. Tonated. A guitar is 25.75 or 25.5 or 24.75 inches long, depending on what kind of guitar it is. That's from the nut to the bridge, right? 25.5. Well, a bridge is not straight across. A bridge has saddles, so each string is slightly different in variance depending on the length of the neck. Now, every string is a thicker string than the one prior to it, so it vibrates at a different frequency. It starts at 440, which is the key of A, and it goes down in megahertz as the string gets thinner. So because it vibrates at that speed and at that frequency, the scale length of that string needs to be exact for that note, right? So, which is why you can adjust the saddle on a guitar to get that length exactly right. And that's called intoning or intonating the guitar. So every string has to be the exact right distance for the note to ring in tune on every fret. And if it's slightly out, you could play a D down here and it'll sound like a D, but if you come up here and play a D, it'll be out of tune because the strength, the length of the string is different here. So you have to intonate a guitar to get it in the right place. I hope that made sense. Rachel says, words do hurt, but also you can't be offended when words are the truth. Also true. Amanda says, I don't care what strangers say. When people you're close to say stuff, it could hurt. And Rachel says, ain't no 14-year-old said that. Okay. We're having a difference of opinion here because I'm a guy and you all are ladies, and we process things in a different way. Men don't have the option of being hurt by words because that would make us weak, and all things ensue from there. So men have a defense mechanism against that called stoicism, to be stoic. That means to be stern, strong-willed, and focused on what the task at hand is. And so for a man to let feelings in the way of everyday life is counterproductive to everyday life. So we've developed this hard shell called stoicism, and to be a man, you must also learn to be stoic, which is why you ladies find that to be attractive. So trust me, I'm right here, but for you ladies, I can understand why words might hurt your feelings, but they shouldn't. You should allow them to go right off your back, because usually the person saying the thing that hurts you is showing their ignorance. And if you're the smart person in the room, which you should always be, then you can recognize kind for kind. This is ignorance talking. This person doesn't know what they're saying. No problem. Maybe that helped. Amy says, I found Jesus. Amen. Literally, I found a card on the floor for a church on campus with a picture of white-ish Jesus. Well, Jesus was whitish, Amy. It's Me says, intonation calibrates stringed instruments. Yes. Ain't you the one that asked what intonation was? Nope. It was Aaron that asked that. Sorry, my bad. You're right, it's me. And Rachel says, nice, Amy. I would love to find him too. Well, you have found him, Rachel. Why do you think you're here? Now you have to accept that relationship. But I promise you, you have found him. He is there. Now, why did I say Jesus is whitish? Okay, I was joking, but the word Adam in the Greek and in the Hebrew, by the way, actually specifically in the Hebrew, the word Adam, there's two words in Genesis. There's Adam and there's ℂ-Adam. ℂ-Adam is speaking of mankind. The man of the dirt is what that means. But Adam means ruddy complected, or to show blood in the face, or to be able to blush. That's what that word means transliterated. So what does that mean? Most likely blonde or redheaded. I would say redheaded because that's more of a native to that area kind of complexion. Blonde is kind of it's kind of a weakening of the bloodlines. But anyway, Epsilon was fair. Fair is the word they use later on in the Bible to describe light-colored skin or light-colored hair. So Absalom was one of David's sons, and he was fair. David was talked about as being fair when he was a boy, so he was probably one of those kids that has sandy hair and then grows up to be dark-headed. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what my guess is. And Jesus is a direct descendant of David, so most likely he had chestnut hair and pale skin for the people of that era, because those people were all brown people. But Jesus' family specifically had that red-headed gene in it. Also, Esau, which is part of that family, was red-headed big time, like the Irish kind of red-headed, like woolly all over red-headed. So there's a lot of redheads in that family. So most likely Jesus had chestnut hair. That's a guess. I don't have any proof of that, but judging by the history of the bloodline, I would say it's most likely that Jesus was, in fact, whitish. Hold on, my chat jumped. Aaron says, my mom passed, and they poked with words, Colin. I just roasted them out of the building. A friendly roast is great. Yes. Dana says, my good friend dentist is saying that neglected teeth with cavities will cause all kinds of other health problems, especially stomach problems. Yes, those are true. It's me says half and half at the 12th fret. Yes. Half of 25.5 at the 12th fret. Amy Elizabeth says, true, Dana, because an infection in the mouth can spread to the whole body. This is true. Amanda says, I've heard of people dying from blood infections from bad teeth. Yes. Aaron says, so it sounds like wave versus the string movement inertia combination with a radioactivity. Got it. No radioactivity. But yes, it is the vibration of the string, its velocity of revolutions, which is called a megahertz, right? That's how many times it vibrates or goes in a circular motion back and forth. And the thickness of the string determines the amount of vibration and the speed in which it vibrates, which is the megahertz. And so as it goes down the strings from heavier to lighter, that gauge changes. And so that the length of the string has to be exact on every string. And that's called intonating. That's why you have the little screws in the back of a guitar to change that. Amy says, emotions, feelings block critical thinking. They can. They absolutely can cloud your thinking, your judgment. Amanda says, women are totally more sensitive. True. It's that way by design, I think. Aaron says, autocorrect is killing my comments. That's all right. I'm getting the hang of it. Amanda says, LOL, Aaron. Amy says, when all else fails, do this and walk away. That's right. Amy says, hell yes, Amy. Amanda says, hell yes, Amy. Aaron says, LOL, Amy is a fireball. Yes, she is. I think she meant that instead of this, but whatever. If you're in Australia, we mean that. If you're here, we mean that. Amanda says, she is definitely a firecracker. Awesomeness, says Aaron. Amy says, Fireball cinnamon whiskey. My husband loved that drink. He wasn't a drinker, but when he did, he drank Fireball whiskey. I've had a bout or two with Fireball whiskey. John says, be right back. Going to get a hot toddy. Oh, Lord, hot toddy. That's whiskey. Dana says, fair in the Bible means pretty or beautiful, which means what attribute is pretty or beautiful, Dana? Because it obviously was talking in context of the color of one's hair. That's where the word fair is used. Dana says, Fireball is yummy. I like Fireball whiskey. Dana says, Genesis chapter 6 and much, much more. Amen. Aaron says, Fireball is too hot for me. Panda Hammer. Amanda Panda. Amanda Trash Panda Hammer. Band Hammer. You know what a trash panda is? Amanda says, Fireball and Sprite is good. Nah, well, mix it up. Amanda says, Butt Straight is kind of hot. It's not hot. It's cinnamony. That's not hot. Aftershock is hot. Fireball reminds me of a big red soda. Right on. Aaron says, does it change? I don't know what you're saying there, Aaron. What are you saying, disciple? I never had it. Does it change the disciple? Dickable. You have to be more specific. Oh, decibel. Oh, okay. No. No, the decibel is the same. Decibel is just, that refers to the volume or the overall sound of something. Like a strong, like the sound of my voice is at a certain decibel. At this particular moment, it's at negative 10 decibels. So there's a scale, a decibel scale, and the louder something gets, the higher up on the scale it gets. And a guitar string by itself does not change in volume. You can pluck it lighter or pluck it harder and cause the volume to increase, but only if you're playing it. The tension of the string, just as only thing it involves is the tuning of that string. It's got to be exact on the scale length of the neck. It's Me says, did Trump said no to another debate? That's what I'm hearing. It's Me. I don't know. I don't think it's definitive yet. I wouldn't. Why would I debate people that are going to gang up on me and not let me say things that are true? Aaron says, I tell you, I'm going to throw this phone. Don't throw that phone. That thing was expensive, man. Amanda says, I saw that he did. It's Me. Okay, so Amanda says it has been confirmed. Well, Aaron, turn autocorrect off. There's a good idea. That's a lot cheaper than throwing it. And Amanda says, it's a raccoon. Yes, Trash Panda. Aaron says, you're right, Amanda. And Amy says, Trash Panda, raccoon. Yes. Amanda says, LOL, Aftershock is cinnamon too. Yes, but it's hotter. It's more heat oriented. It's more like a Fireball. An actual Fireball drink is not like a Fireball candy. The Aftershock is more like the Fireball candy. That's what I meant. Aaron says, Trans Panda is a raccoon that drives a bus. I like it. Trans Panda. Amanda says, LOL, Aaron. And Linda says, I love my black hair. Blondes don't have more fun. Why did that ever become a saying? Well, I can tell you, but this is a family stream, so we'll leave it at PG for now. Blondes do, in fact, have more fun. Amy says, Linda, because of blonde jokes. They're also more airheaded, too. This is true. There's a reason for that, too. And Goldschlager is yummy, too, says Amanda. Yep. I had a bout with Goldschlager one night. It did not turn out well for me, so. Oh, Amy hit me with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Amy. God bless you. I appreciate that. It's Me says, red-haired women are pretty. Extra with green eyes. I agree. I'm a red-headed woman kind of guy myself there. It's Me. My mother was a redhead, so I got it honest. I'm a redhead too, but you can't tell. I'm what you call a red bone Indian, if you know what that means. If you don't know what that means, I suggest you get a book. I like depth charges, says John. Yes. That'll raise the decibels. Everclear is sneaky, says Aaron. I've never had Everclear. Christine Marshall, what's up, brother? Hi, y'all. Turkey. Amanda says, blondes don't have more fun than unicorns, LOL. This is true. I didn't make the trope, so don't take it out on me. It's just, the reason that blondes have more fun is because, generally speaking, they're more desirable. And because more people are attracted to them, they have more fun. That's the idea. Not for me. I like redheads, but whatever. Amanda says, thank you, Amy. And Linda says, well, Jake, I will keep it PG, so I will keep my comment to myself. Hey, I understand where you're coming from there, Linda. I feel you. Amanda says, hi, Christine. Amy says, I've got red hair with gray highlights, hazel eyes. Me too. We got something in common, Amy. How about that? I'm a sucker for gray-green eyes, by the way, just so you know. Aaron says, green or blue eyes and red hair get me going. I have the smart people eyes myself, Hazel. Aaron says, its flavor is less than 105 proof, Jake. Wow. It's flavorless and 105 proof. Wow. Yeah, I've never had it, but I've heard stories. I've also never had absinthe, and I've heard stories about that, too. Of the two, I would like to try absinthe. Amanda says, brown hair with red tint, LOL. Well, I don't know if you can tell it by the camera and the lighting and all that. I do have a color gradient on, so you probably can't tell what my color is. This is camouflage, so that'll give you an idea. But I do have red hair. You might can see it right there a little bit. But it's mostly gray now. Christine says, not much. Just been working like crazy, enjoying Donald Trump dominating the debates again. It was incredible. I liked that he exposed their lies. I'm with you. Amanda says, blue eyes. I do not have blue eyes. I have hazel eyes. You have blue eyes. Aaron says, uh-oh. It's me, says, dark hair and blue eyes is cute. Always. And Amy says, I'm old school. I'm talking about some Mad Dog 2020. You know, that kind of stuff that leaves vapor trails behind you when you go. Mad Dog 2020. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mad Dog was insane, says Aaron. And Linda says, I like black hair and blue eyes. I had black hair until it turned red. And then it turned gray almost immediately thereafter. So that's where I'm at. Amanda says, LOL, Amy, Boone's Farm. That ain't Mad Dog 2020. No. And Amanda says, LOL, yes, I have blue eyes. I know yours are green. Mine are hazel, not green. They're green right now. But they change colors depending on what color I'm wearing or what mood I'm in. Amy says, Strawberry Hill. Christine says, I'm an 8th Native American and a 16th of Native American that I got a 16th of Irish and the Rastas Polish. I have red in my beard when it is long. So you got a patch? I had a patch too right there. It's crazy. You can't tell it to look at me because my Irish genes are strong, but I am almost 3/4 Native American and 1/4 Irish. My grandmother was full-blooded. That'll give you an idea. Aaron says, Linda likes Superman mix. Amanda says, that's right, Amy. And Rachel says, me too. It's me says, I was 14. I drank a pint of slow gin. I threw up for 3 days. Never again. Wow. The first thing I ever drank was homemade wine, and it was not fresh. So, yeah. Amy says, Boone's Farm is like a wine cooler. Yep. And Rachel says, when I cry, they turn bright green. Well, don't cry. I want your eyes to be dark green. Don't cry. Amanda says, yep, it is, Amy. It was what the teenagers used to drink back in the day, LOL. Aaron says, green and gray are beautiful. I agree. Gray-green eyes are beautiful. Christine says, wow. Sorry. Christine says, and I was skipping school with a few boys, and it was a miracle my sister happened to leave school early and went down into the Gully Creek. Gully Creek. Those two words mean the same thing. And see my face down. Saved my life. Dang me. And dragged me out. And dragged me up. Saved my life. Dragged me out and dragged me up. I got it. Don't do that again, Christine. It's bad for you. Amanda says, first thing I ever got so drunk and threw up on was Jack Daniels. Linda says, me too, Amanda. For me, that day came when I was dared to drink a gallon of vodka. And I drank almost a whole gallon of vodka. And then the next day I was in the hospital getting my liver pumped out with that green stuff they put down your gullet to keep you from dying. It wasn't pretty. I was very, very drunk. And I can't, to this day, I can't stand the smell of vodka. It turns my stomach instantly. I do not like vodka. Aaron says, Linda, like Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran is a redhead now. Christine says, she got me up to the gas station where my dad's friend happened to be riding by in a truck, and it took me to the hospital. Well, good. I'm glad you got out of there. Amanda says, the second time was Southern Comfort. Aaron says, is Captain Morgan bad? I don't know. I don't think so, because a lot of people drink Captain Morgan. But I'm not a drinker, so I wouldn't know. John says, Ed Sheeran live in the next village to me. Really? We'll walk over there and see him. He puts on a good show from what I understand. Amanda says, Captain Morgan is good if you like rum. Rum is sweet and molassesy. So if you like that, go for it. Amy says, stand like a flamingo, Captain Morgan. Do you know how a flamingo stands, chat? On one foot. I implore you to drink a bottle of Captain Morgan and stand on one foot. Linda says, Aaron, he's too much of a pretty boy. I like the bad boys. Who are we talking about? Ed Sheeran? I think that's who you're talking about. Who are we talking about? Who's a pretty boy? How dare you? Christine says, awesome. Yep. My grandma was half Ottawa Indian, or Ottawa Indian, if you say it properly. Ottawa. And my mom is a quarter. She receives money. She's been telling me for a long time. One day, they'll accept 1/8. Yep. It's me says, vodka smells like rubbing alcohol. Yuck. It really does. It tastes like it, too. Amanda says, LOL, it's me, right? I don't like anything clear. I like tequila. I'll drink tequila. And mezcal. I like mezcal. Aaron says, John, that's cool. I saw him in Tampa, and he took pictures with me and hung out. He's a cool guy. Christine says, anytime I drink after that, I could never drink vodka because I feel the same way. I feel the same way it's me feels. Like it's rubbing alcohol. Right. Amanda says, post a video when you do. I want to see you stand on one foot drunk. Right. Linda says, I can't stand on one foot sober. Amen. Aaron says, she's talking about Ed Sheeran, Mr. Jake. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure, but I just didn't know. He is kind of a pretty boy. If you like that kind of thing. He looks like a grown-up Chucky doll to me, but whatever. Amy says, a former spokesman for the resident Biden named after 2 adult beverages, gin sake. For President Biden, the former spokesperson for President Biden would be gin sake. She was named that after 2 adult beverages, gin and sake. I like it. That's a good joke. You ever notice how people in politics tend to have names like that remind you of something else? I'm beginning to wonder if there's a conspiracy in that, like Bernie Madoff, who made off with all the cash, that kind of thing. That happens more often than not. It happens often enough that it can't be a coincidence, is all I'm saying. Like the word Fauci means spokesperson or jaw. The word Fauci means jaw. It's also a transliteration of the word Faust, which is the deal made with the devil. Interestingly enough. It happens a lot. I'm just saying, take a look at people's names and see where they stand. Like Trump. Trump is about to be president twice. Now, if one of his sons runs for president, that would be 3 Trumps in a row. That irony is not lost on me, a Bible scholar. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying there's any validity to it. I'm not running down a rabbit hole here. I'm just letting you know that words have meanings, and names do too, obviously enough. I meant he lives in the next village, dyslexia. Oh, I got it. So you can go see him anytime you want to. That's cool, John. Amanda says brown tequila. I don't know what brown tequila is, but I like tequila. Aaron, where you from? Asks Amanda. Aaron says, I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. We got another Floridian in the house. Good gracious. My chat is like 55% Floridian. Amanda says, oh, okay. I'm in Central Florida, too. Aaron says, that's cool. It's me says, beers and tequila was my favorite 20 years ago, right? Well, beer before liquor gets you drunk quicker. Liquor before beer makes you queer. Or something like that. I can't remember how that goes. Aaron says, I want to fish there. Where? Central Florida? Or Fort Myers? Christine says, I used to be an alcoholic when I was young, and I quit drinking for a few different times, but I haven't drank but a few times in the last 5 years, but I do drink. But when I do, I got to go in the shower. That's weird. Why do you have to shower when you drink? Are you saying you get really tore up? Amanda says, LOL, and lots of fishing around here. And Amy says, nope, I worded it correctly when I said resident. Okay, got it. Resident Biden. Yeah, because he's too insane to be president. I got it. Amanda says, LOL, Christine, you have to drink in the shower? That's weird. Christine says, because even when I think I know when to stop, I do stop, and then the rest of what I drink kicks in. And it's too much. Yep, that's a problem, Christine. That's the mark of an alcoholic right there. You need to stay away from that stuff. It's not good for you. Aaron says, I'll have to drive up on an off day and get me some fish. I don't know Central Florida. Did you just move to Central Florida, or are you currently there now? Because Fort Myers is kind of Central Florida. It's a little further south, but I mean, Florida's upside down. It could be north for all I know. They moved Orlando, so I have no idea where Fort Myers is, but I thought I knew. Amanda says, I can tell you the spot, fresh or salt water. Aaron says, salt water. Amanda says, you definitely want to go to Fort DeSoto then. Fort DeSoto for saltwater fishing, or anywhere there's salt water, would be my guess. Christine says, my sister was born in Florida, and they moved up here right before a hurricane, and had me in Muskegon, Michigan. Or is that Muskegon? Muskegon, Michigan. And I went back to Florida as a child for 8 months, and we left before another hurricane. So, yeah, that's the way to do Florida. Get out before the hurricane hits. Smart move. And we've been in Michigan ever since. Michigan's a good place. They make good wives in Michigan. I don't know about the men. Aaron says, oh, I've been there. They have that cool old school motel. Yeah. Amanda says, that's miles and miles of shoreline and beaches with great fishing, and there are a few bridges to fish off of, too. Christine says, we're going to Orlando, Universal Studios with the kids in tax season. It's going to be real fun. We're excited. Well, Universal Studios is the place to go if you're going to go to Florida. Disney World, Disneyland, whatever it's called. I can't remember. Disney World ain't worth a damn. Universal Studios is where to go. It's me, says Amanda. Are you near 𝕉𝕠𝕐𝕏? My mom lived in 𝕉𝕠𝕐𝕏, Florida, 15 miles from the Tigers training camp, Central Florida. I don't think I've ever heard of 𝕉𝕠𝕐𝕏. I'm from Central Florida, too. Jake, they call Fort Southwest. It's further south before Miami. Right. Yeah, it's in that direction, for sure. But it's kind of Central Florida. I mean, Florida's kind of long. I guess I'm including the Keys, too, so don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Christine says, fun fact, Michigan has the biggest coastline of any other state in the United States of America. Really? I thought Michigan was landlocked. I guess the Great Lakes, huh? Amanda says, I grew up in Tiger Town. It's me, says Christine. I'm in Lincoln Park, Michigan. Aaron says, yep. You are going to have to map out what I need to do to get them, Amanda. Get them fish. Amanda says, I'm about 30 minutes from 𝕉𝕠𝕐𝕏. Okay, well, I guess it is close by. Amy says, my daughter went to Epcot Center. Epcot Center's nice. Christine says, yep, everybody's been telling me that, and yeah, we are going to go to Orlando. I have never been to Disney World or Orlando, but I'm going to take them to Disney World eventually, though. I hear you. Amanda says, I can do that, Aaron. Christine Marshall says, if it's still open because Disney is making bad decisions. They certainly are that. They are certainly making bad decisions at Disney. And Amanda says, Disney is woke. It is. It's gone crazy. I don't think you'll enjoy Disney World. You might enjoy Universal Studios, though. Amy says, Disney is not wholesome and good for families. Not anymore. I don't know that it ever was, but it didn't seem not so wholesome back when I was younger. It seems a lot worse now. And Amanda says, you can't even take any videos anymore at Disney. Aaron says, facts, Jake is Universal for adults. Yes, Disney is overpriced. And lines and people and suits. Dana says, what about Baja California, Christine Marshall? Baja California. Nice. Disney princesses with twigs and berries, says Amy Elizabeth. You ain't wrong. Avoid the twigs and berries is what I'm saying. They're poisonous. Amanda says, Aaron, you can fish by the Skyway Bridge, too. They have pull-off spots for fishing. It's me says, City of 𝕉𝕠𝕐𝕏, question mark. acronym for National Association of Letters Carried. Hold on. National Association of Letter Carriers Retirement Postal Retirees. Sounds good to me. I like how your brain thinks it's me. Aaron says they kick you out for the dress code, too. A tank top will get you thrown out. Because I guess they think if you're wearing a wife beater, you're up to some riffraff. And they will have no toxic masculinity in this place. John says they even changing films now. Remakes of Snow White. Oh, they're changing everything. Believe me. I am not a fan of new movies. And we could do a whole video on just that. I do not like the ability of the writers that are in Hollywood right now. I don't like the filmmakers. I don't like the messaging. I wish they would stop all that nonsense. Amanda says, yep, now crest. If you blink, you drive right through it. LOL. Christine says, that sounds like a trip with me and the wifey. It sounds great, Dana. And sorry about the other night. You were totally correct. I feel like an idiot, but I'm happy that I know more now. See, I knew you'd get the chance. Aaron says, Skyway, world famous. I've been there too. We went to that park with the old military cannon. It's me says, yep, Amanda. And Dana says, you are okay. Peace and respect. Thumbs up and handshakes. Dana always the class act. Amy says, my dad retired from the post office. Amanda says, right, Aaron. Anne Marie Island is a good place too. Anna Marie Island. Aaron says, Disney says, if it offends a guest, they warn and then they kick you out. Right on. Christine says, heart. Aaron says, I love it. The old jails. Yes. All right. I made it to the bottom of the chat at 10:30. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. I had a good time tonight. Great conversation. Great friendship. Great hanging out. It's a nice Friday night. I'm going to go to bed now. I'm just about to fall over. Amanda says, that's Fort DeSoto, Aaron. It's me says, enjoy your weekend, folks. Time to crash out. Amen, brother. Amanda says, good night, it's me. And Amy says, I'm offended. Who cares? Right. Linda says, I hope you feel better, Jake. Thank you, ma'am. John says, thank you, Jake, and everyone. My pleasure. And Aaron says, thank you, Jake. 4 a.m. comes early. Yes, it does. Dana says, heart. Dana, you always have my heart. You know that. Amanda says, good night, all. See you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. for some politics right here on Untethered Live. And Linda says, good night, all in chat. And Amy says, good night, Jake. Have a good weekend. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you tomorrow night for politics right here where we will discuss in detail the debates and how they went. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Thanks for watching.